Alright, hello, welcome then to round 10, season finale of Tier 2. Season 9 finally come to a close here. We've got 12 cars on track today, so a bit disappointing to end on such low numbers, but thank you to all those that have actually turned up. A couple of reserve into the mix as well, so reserve-wise we've got Troy in at Red Bull, Manic in at Mercedes, currently 6th on the timesheets, but not with the time next to his name. New driver OK in the Williams. And then Throne Globe. I think we've seen him once before as well. He is currently sat in the V-carb, ready to come out. Still in the pits for now. As Gremic, the first man to cross the line with a 23.0. So we see, obviously, all our top dogs really out of the picture. Camper with the championship already wrapped up as well. Brad is obviously coming in, P2 just behind him. Not racing today, so for those unaware, when they look at, if they don't watch the Tier 1 races, he won Tier 1 last week, so immediately ousted from Tier 2 as it's just customary, where, you know, if a Tier 2 driver wins Tier 1, they're clearly not Tier 2 pace, so unable to race today. He's just gone to race Tier 1 for the finale. Obviously he's been sharing GTs across Tier 1 and Tier 2 for this season as Lucas Champion goes for a position pole with 22.9.
Yeah, I think he's the first man, isn't it, since Wizzy, who's won a Tier 1 race.
Yeah, so it has happened before. So
so
in terms of that procedure, it's that's where it's gone. That's how it's how the cookie crumbles. But yeah, Gremic still in the picture. He's 9 points behind Brad, so that'll be his aim for today, to see if Gremic can end runner-up. So he to his former teammate Lucas Champion as well, back on track. He's currently on screen and P2. So yeah, P4 in the standings for him, Chocolate as well, P5. Quali bands for today, Manig and Kookaburra. So nice to see Kookaburra back on track, but he does have a quali band, so I say start at the back. He's starting 11th or 12th, which isn't too bad. So yeah, still a good fight on really for the top 5 in the drivers, so that's a good scrap at least. Constructors, let me have a quick look to see if anything was close for constructors wise. Obviously Alpine 77 up the road, so they've got that wrapped up 2 weeks ago. Williams on 163, Aston on 154. We are expecting Ali in at some point, so Aston will have one driver to fight with to go against, well, Gremic and OK, so I think at that point could be a potential tall order for him. McLaren have both drivers, so they're a bit far behind. So I think realistically, if we're looking for a fight, it's going to be between Ferrari and V-carb down there. So it's Jatin and Throne Globe. So Throne Globe, I think he put in a decent performance when he last raced, so trying to carry the hopes of V-carb alive with him to see if they can get 5 points over on Ferrari to move up to P6. Sauber as well, seeing, I need to have a look at this after the race, went before standings go up, but Sauber currently on 16 points.
that's probably a record though, then, isn't it?
It was, I think, the only team that they could potentially lose to in that factor is, I think it was Williams from like season 3 or 4 with Nepotal and Cyril. I think they ended with a very low tally, so I mean, we'll have to, I'll go back and see whereabouts they stand, but they're at least right down there. Unless Jesse can have a banging finale performance and get a massive haul of points to drag them at least. I think if they get into the 20s, I think that's at least I say a bit more respectable. That's still right down there, but
How many points are they already on?
16.
So I've just scrolled back, they're currently matching Mercedes of season 6.
Oh, so and that is, I think that's Cyril and Nepotal in Mercedes.
Yeah, I've not finished scrolling back for Ferrari the season before as well, 16, so there's been a few on 16. And to be fair, some of those, they might have been 12 race seasons, so they may have done slightly better than some of the previous things, just about, but it's fair to say it's been a series of events.
Yeah. I reckon for them there's only one race left, so they can finally get this all behind them. After this, Throne Globe finishes his lap, goes P7 just above Troy, who was, oh, that's right, I can't count. But yeah, nice to see a couple of new drivers racing. Obviously, OK, new in the league for today, so we'll see how he can perform today. See if he's making a statement before a potential next season. See how he gets on. See if he's maybe too quick for Tier 2. We'll have to see. I think based on his times, he should be a good scrap. And here is Ali as well. So that's 13 we've got for the race. Awkward back in as well. We were just saying as I was talking about pole times, It's going to be interesting to see how much lower this pole time goes. 22.8 currently. Chocolate at a 10th clear of Lucas Champion. Does it go lower than a 0.6? I mean, it all depends on fuel loads currently as well, I suppose.
Yeah, I was going to say, before we started, I think you said 0.6, wasn't it, was what you were expecting. To be honest, if I was to guess, I was going to say about 0.8, considering we're already there, clearly. I think it's certainly going to surpass now, yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess it all depends on fuel loads and stuff that they've used. If they've had a little toe or something on their lap. Oh, and Gremic's very curb heavy there, so that's going to impact his time. Moment on the exit as well, so that's going to heavily compromise the time he was about to be on.
Has he gone out there as well?
It was very close.
I'm surprised that didn't invalidate the lap, to be honest. It looked to me like he'd gone out.
Down. Obviously, Awkward's having some technical difficulties. But, we'll see. Gremic, the man on the lap right now, I can't imagine he's, imagine he's just going to bring it straight back into the pits. And he's invalidated anyway, so yeah, that'll be back into the pits for Gremic. Jackson's actually
Jackson's the only other man shown on that, but to me it's these 2 tenths up. Were you seeing different?
No, I just flicked to him just as he was, coming. Oh, he's backed out.
Oh yeah, he's off, yeah. I was going to say it shows to be it's 2 tenths up. He's going to go again, he's not got too much to left. I suppose it's like going really last this one, it's the one that hits the deploy use of it. Oh well, he's going to do another cooldown lap actually.
Fueled up then for a lot. Yeah, gone to hot lap now, which is a bit weird considering the lap is well and truly commenced, so he's back to none, yeah. So yeah, we'll go on board with Jatin again once he's a lap further round to see what you can actually start to set. Lucas Champion's just come up to the final corner to start his next run, so we'll go on board with the McLaren man to see what he can do. Can he find a 10th somewhere in his lap? Still got 8 minutes left though, so plenty of time for improvements to come flying in. Lucas Champion's been on a bit of a hot streak recently as well in terms of results, which is good to see because he is one of these drivers that you look at and see him being a man to watch. This season he's had 4 podiums, including 1 win that he had last time out in Japan, narrowly beating Bradders. Basically matched his sector 1 time as well, so good omen for the rest of the lap. I think in terms of most podiums, he's joint in that regard with Gremic and Camper, so a man he's used to being at the front, so we'll see if that can continue. And I mean, potentially he can leap above both Bradders and Gremic, because whether he can do that or not is the next question. But we'll have to see if he can actually put a lap in.
He's showing slightly up as well here, so this could be to take provisional pole for now.
You can set a lap if you DSQ yourself, but ideally not, just in case you can't DSQ yourself. But if you're confident that you can get yourself DSQ'd, then yeah, that's fine. But yeah, we'll see if Lucas Champion can keep this time. He's got loads of ERS left to play with as well. Half his battery still.
Because where the green bar is, he's going to go deploy usually uses too much.
Just about. I think he'll still have a good burn to the line.
Yeah.
And there he goes then. Finds the time. 7. So puts 2 tenths improvement up on his time, and it finds enough to put a 10th buffer between himself and Chocolate. So yeah, good time for him. 0.7 on the card. So.
I touched Troy as well, showing 2 tenths up. This could put him into the front 3 if he's managed to hold it around the rest of his lap. And well,
it does. More improvement, yeah, up to a 0.8 for Troy. Let me see who else is. Ok's just started his next run as well.
He's having a horrible fit for 3 here, and imagine he's going to back off this lap. Yeah.
A couple of people still on laps. Yeah, Ali has backed off. Yeah, you're right.
Slick sliding all under him, and he's done this the next lap, so he's going to go all the way around.
Jacqueline says he's in the mud, cannot qualify. Down in 81, the last of people that have actually set a time on a 23.5. But we know Jacqueline can hold it together in the race, so all he has to do is, I mean, with the lower numbers today, he's in good stead just to at least be relatively, in a much better position compared to, in previous races if he had a bit of a stinky quality. Slick's showing a bit of time up as well, currently going into sector 3, so we'll watch him round to see if he can shoot up the order. Got people in reach as well. It's only really when you get to the likes of the front 3 that it starts to get a bit more unattainable in terms of lap time improvement. But to the line then, Slick, where does he go? Goes Yeah, just fits into that window, almost joins the front three then, just 20 milliseconds off the back of Chocolada, 5 minutes left on the clock, so can go again. He comes around and puts on a fresh set of boots to go for one last push lap. Okay to the line as well.
Yeah, next to doesn't move.
Improves, yeah, but like you said, does not improve. Gets a bit closer to his teammate for the day in Gremic, but stays on a 23 flat for now anyway. But showing, slotted well into the mix.
Ali's going to be in a bit of trouble here, I think, because, yeah, he's back into the pits. He catches the curve a bit. I thought he was going to end up on the wall for a moment. But it doesn't leave him much time to try to get a lap in. Auckland is often the same scenario where he's struggling to get a lap in. That's just because he's struggling to get the game to actually work as opposed to being on track.
I'm assuming he's not going to be able to, considering I don't know if,
based on what he's saying, it seems like it's a struggle completely just to...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll if he like we said in terms of numbers, even if he doesn't, he's still only 13, so that's that's doable in terms of moving from the quote unquote back.
Kookaburra's gone up to 7th as well as his one lap he did do, but he's just turning around now to now go into qualifying.
Ah, beautiful. Let him cook. Let him cook. Paulie in the chat said, are we thinking times are slower in online? They're always slow in online sessions, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, considering time, I would imagine they're about, in comparison to time trial, I mean, it depends how I think it's one of these laps you have to nail on your lap to get close to your time trial, but I think if you nail your lap, you can be within 3-4 tenths of your time. I think it depends really. It's just and then there's obviously movable factors in the quality session as well in terms of how much ERS you use, etc. But yeah, everyone in the pits as well. So we're just waiting to see who is the first man out. She's got a yellow flag. Then I guess that's just Kookaburra maybe chucked back to the pits. But I forgot a car coming out there. I thought that was Slick maybe coming out. But yeah, we'll wait to see who the first man is. 2.5 minutes left, so not much time left if people do want to get a wiggle on to get one more lap in. They will all obviously come out, and we do have, I think that's Gremic then, all okay, that's going to be the first driver out. It is Gremic. So Gremic going to be the first man to cross the line to set his final time of the session and of the season. So final qualifying of the season, and see who can put down that statement to get the first, the last pole position to round off season 9. 10 weeks of racing.
I think that is going to try to give himself a slight bit more time in case he validates back up and go again, but obviously he's still in the pit lane at the moment.
Backs himself.
Yeah, I have 1 lap to make it count.
Gremic, interestingly, backing off as well, does not want to be the first car, so I think he's trying to get a bit of slipstream off the back of Chesney, which could work against him here. But
well, based on his qualifying form at the moment, I'd expect him in a wall shortly. So.
Yeah, very interesting. Paulie in the chat said, yeah, this feels like real life quali. Everyone's leaving it right until the end. You've got 2 cars. I mean, Jatin and Ali still in the pits.
Yeah,
Jatin's just coming out now. And then Troy's only just coming out of the pits now. He's going to be, he should make it, but he's going to be quite tight for time as well. And then obviously Awkward won't come back out again. Same with, there's 1 more car in the pits there. I guess that's Manic's retired car, obviously, certainly he's probably done.
Troy will make the line as long as he doesn't do any messing about on his out lap. But
Consider asked what's a good time for tier 1, like
to be honest, I feel like about this pole time is slotting all right to the grid.
Yeah, I think realistically anywhere 23 flat and below really. I think you want to be in the 22s, and then anywhere below that I think you should put yourself in good stead to kind of have a decent shift. But here we go then. We'll watch Gremic as he goes around to see if he sets the time and boards alight for that final quali session of the season. What's he doing in sector 1? 10th and a half so far up on his time. So Gremic, I think he had pole last week, putting himself in good stead to see how he's going to get on. P5 currently, a 10th and a half will put him right in that mix towards the front. So I'll quickly cut to Lucas Champion actually as well, coming up to the sector 1 line to see what Lucas Champion does, just out of curiosity. Does he find any time in the first sector? He does. He finds a further 10th, so Lucas Champion cooking behind, looking to get another pole. Thought
Okay,
Gremic
so already showing slight improvement as well from Sector 1. It'd be another interesting drive to keep an eye out for. I genuinely have no idea what to expect from the first
Yeah.
race.
Gremic's lost a bit of time in the second sector, still 73 milliseconds up, as there is the checkered flag, so final time's now about to come in. Gremic hoping to find a bit more time through the third sector. Oh, has to ease off though to save himself from going off track underneath the hotel. So it's going to cost him a little bit, catches the curve a little bit as well. So where does this put him? Round the final corner, a bit slow on the apex, but he does go provisional pole though with a 0.6. So it completely made me eat my words there. Flew up the order, so even though he lost a bit of time in Sector 2, found plenty in Sector 3 to move him all the way up to provisional pole with a 0.6, so great lap from him. But if Lucas Champion's been able to keep his time through Sector 2, this could be about to go back to the McLaren. Round the final corner, still with a bit of ERS left to play with as well on the exit. Where does he go? He goes provisional pole then, jumps him again. 6.37 for him.
I don't think Chocolate's going to improve either.
He does.
No, I'm doing wrong. I was going to say, I spoke to him and he got right on the back of the V-carb in front, but obviously he must have timed that very well. I'd assumed he'd hit him in Sector 3 and he backed up, but no, I mean, he's managed to skim a toe the entire lap really well. It's just Troy and Jatin then left to set their time.
Goes up to P4, so good time for him. And Troy goes P3, so very, very cool. Look how close it is for pole in the end. You got the top 5 separated by a 10th.
Troy was deployed used very early on as well. I feel like he could have been someone to enter the 0.5 then if that didn't happen.
Wow. Great session then in the end. Even though we've only got 13 or so people, mad close pole time, race for polling in. So bodes well for the race. Obviously Abu Dhabi provides a good scrap. Look at that, 19 milliseconds separating the front 5. So Jatin's saying he's a bit muddied in quali, but he's put himself in good stead for the race there in P5. Within a 10th of pole, so great time from him. Chocolate though does get pole in amongst all that. Lucas Champion P2, Troy reserving well P3, Gremic P4, Jatin P5, Ali P6, Slick P7, new reserve driver OK, Init Williams puts it P8, Chesney P9, Drone Globe 10th, and then the 3 cars without a time at the back, Manic Panics and Kookaburra with a quali ban, and then Awkward with technical difficulties putting in P12.
Yeah, based on what Awkward's been saying, unfortunately, I can't imagine he's going to be able to race. But I hope it proves me wrong and he can actually, it might just fix itself between sessions.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Hopefully he can, hopefully it's just one of those glitches where he just couldn't see the screen. And then now that it's technically a different session, it's sorted itself out. But we'll have to see. Hopefully he can race. Obviously coming from the back, that's, the back, but that's not the back, so for him it's not too bad that if he does at least get control of his car and can race and go onwards from there. Worth mentioning as well, it is shorter race distance today, 35% because of the lower numbers. Probably could have run 50% in the end, but the decision was made for it to just be shortened. So we'll see. Obviously that will impact strategy slightly, so see what tyres people choose to start on, and obviously fuel loads as well will just get impacted because of that as well. So
yeah, Six is also saying he was 2 tenths up but invalidated, so did he set a 0.8 at the end? Before that, let me have a look. Yeah, he was on a 0.8, so that's someone else who would have been in
a 0.6.
Into that 0.6 group.
Oh, literally, we've got just below half the grid setting a time within the same 10th, so that's mad. But here we go then, the lights going out for the season finale, final race of season 9 here, and away we go. Shockadad leads the way, but I think he might get done into turn 1 here by Lucas Champion, who's had a good second phase. Takes the inside line, might be contact on the exit. No, Shockadad slightly squeezed off there, but he's going to have the outside line going into turn 3. He still catches the curb there, but maintains the lead, squeezing Lucas Champion off track. Still side by side going down into the hairpin. Lucas Champion with the inside line though, I think he should be able to finally take the lead there, but space given on the exit again, does not close the door, and Chocolate is going to come back at him. I'm assuming he's burning his ERS, yeah he is, down the main straight.
Oh, someone's gone off into the wall as a Ferrari. Jackson's gone flying towards that wall. I think he's got damage. No
damage, lucky for that.
Someone else has gone off as well, it's like Lucas Champion.
Oh, contact, there's 2 cars in the wall.
Behind the air, there's 2 in the wall, so Williams hit the wall the hardest with Gremit. Yeah, Gremit's damage.
I think that all came from Lucas Champion, took a very narrow line, I think he hopped over the curb at the chicane then, and I think Gremic and whoever was beside him, I don't know who that was actually, I think they just kind of were caught in in a situation there that they just got dragged into the wall. But chaotic race started. Troy up to second, okay, in P3, but with over a second gap already, so it could be the front two breakaway already. We'll have to keep an eye on this to see if that happens. But Flick can see what tyres people have opted for. Throne Globe, Manic and Ali, the only ones on the hards. Everyone else has opted for the medium compounds.
I wonder how the hards were fair, because with it being a 35%, I mean, you can sort of ask the question in chat thing, is it now going to be soft medium? And I honestly don't know the answer to that one.
Yeah.
35% strategy. I would have guessed yes, but...
Big hitters are in a bit of trouble today. Lucas Champion down 4, Jatin down 6, Gremic down 9 after that collision. I don't know if Awkward's back in. No, he's AI currently, so I don't think he's managed to solve his issue. I don't know if he's even still in the session, actually. I'll go into the chat and see if he's going around there. No, nothing said, so hopefully, yeah. Hopefully we see him resurface at some point. Big dive from...
looking for a move, isn't managed okay. I didn't really know he was going to go for both of them, but he ends up getting neither. And stays in P7.
Smart driving really though, just to be a bit sensible. Slick looking for a move for P3, easily gets past it okay with the DRS. Obviously now that breaking the train, 2.3 seconds. Okay, loses 2 positions there as Lucas Champion and tries to fight it back through the order to get back up to where he started. Oh, Kookaburra with a bit of a moment as well on the exit. Catches his car, but stays just tucked in behind, so not too bad for him still, despite the little slide.
Oh, Manic's round. I've just cut to him as he's... there's contact with someone else, and I don't know who that was, but he's gone off and dropped to 12.
Troy's as fast as happened amongst all that as well, as he's up to the front. Then P1 currently on track, but with Chocolate close for company as they start lap 3. 2.2 seconds gap, then back to Slick, and then this train goes all the way down then to Jatin. Really, is it Jatin? Oh, Jatin's just outside, so that might be a 5-car train there for the fight for podium. So still plenty that can happen in this race. Only 17 laps left, obviously, with it being 35% distance as opposed to the usual 50.
Seems like Jatin was sliding all over the place when I cut to him. So whether or not he's just already beginning to struggle, the tyres do seem to start quite quickly.
Yeah, it's like extra 2 seconds now. I mean, with it being a shorter race distance, if someone's on the mediums, they could just chuck on the hards and just see what happens. You know, just go to the end, try some kind of mad undercut. I mean, at this point, you could put it at any point for the hards and be fine. So
Troy retakes the lead as well as those trains swapping during the DRS zone.
Troy with hardly any DRS though compared to Chocolate. Alex in the chat asking for the code as well. Yes, I will send you that right now, my good sir. But yeah, at the moment, the Chocolate, you'd probably argue that he's the favourite currently for this win, considering ERS usage. I think Troy potentially is having to use a lot more of his battery just to stay in that fight. So obviously, still very early in this race, though, so we'll have to see how that goes. He's off track actually at turn 1, so potentially a bit of time lost there again.
Could be a warning as well. I don't know. You can seem to avoid them at that corner if you go off, but it seems a bit 50-50 and not really got one.
Chocolate nearly went into the back of them. The hairpin there catches the curb though, but see if he makes a move or chooses to make a move down the straight. Troy, medium ERS mode as well. Goes to the inside. Doesn't feel the need to obviously fight it. Just needs to work together.
I think they recognise Lucas Champion is still easily going to be a threat in this. I mean, that gap's already coming down from Lucas Champion. Then it's just whether they're going to put away here. It's currently at 1.8, but it was about 2 seconds before the start of this lap.
So already just nibbling away at it. So we see, because Troy again, no much ERS, did a bit of an ERS burn so to get back ahead of Chocolate. So through sector, look at it, 1.6. So if he's a bit slow through sector 3 here, this gap could easily be right on that cusp of DRS. I think he should, they get away with this lap, but long term, look at it again, like 1.4 already. So Lucas Champion do very well here to drag himself back into the picture for the race win. One or two more laps of the same type of racing, you'd imagine he's there. Down 1 position for where he started, but still well in play for the race. He slightly goes wide there. Would have picked up a warning probably as well.
Again, it's not really cost him the time. I mean, the one thing that I saw as well is he caught them by quite some distance for the chicane now. And this is the part of the track you'd expect, if anything, the gap's been briefing because of the DRS.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it's going to be the same, you know. And, okay, he'll lose slight bit down this straight here as they have the DRS, but in comparison to what you'd expect, he's keeping the gap very neutral just because he can gain it all back in the chicane.
Yeah, totally trying to play smart with Slick. He's actually just tapped the back of him there through the chicane, but probably that doesn't really cost him much time. Look at that gap, 1.0 and 1.1 there now, but I mean, all it takes is for him to have a good sector 3, and he's going to be there. Hopefully Slick plays ball with him as well and doesn't go for the move, which he isn't going to. So yeah, we're going to be here. We're going to be in a position where I was going to say front four, but Kookaburra's been dropped from them as well here. So Slick and Lucas Champion will be in this fight then for the win at this stage of the race. If they can just keep it tidy through the third and final sector, which they do. Lucas Champion finding plenty of time compared to the front two.
And sliding everywhere
Yeah.
in sector 3. So Kookaburra can keep steady, I believe he can find it time. Say that, but I mean, Kookaburra's into the pit stop.
So he's the man trying the undercut then, so we'll have to pay attention to where he slots back into the mix when everyone does come in for their one mandatory pit stop. But look at that then, yeah. 4 people now in the fight for the win. That gap's now opened up between 4th and 5th with Kookaburra pitting, so it's now a gap of 2.2 seconds with Slick to keep an eye on people leaving the pits. What tyres? Yeah, mediums. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Who's that in the wall? Is that OK in the wall? OK's in the wall and without a front wing. So I wonder if that's going to trigger anything.
I'm surprised it hasn't. I think it would have already if it was going to trigger first. Troy takes the lead again in DRS. But I mean, this time Lucas Champion is much closer, and I think he's going to have to get about a move to try not to go for it. But he's right on the back of the front two here.
Yeah, very close. Bit of it, not too much ERS score. I mean, Chocolade's got a full tank to play with, so he's in a lot better position than Troy at least. Up front, he goes defensive, moves back to the racing line there before the banks, left-hander. But I mean, this is anyone's game at the moment. I wonder if someone I think in this front four is going to take that gamble and come into the pits. Considering Kookaburra came in last lap, potentially the Red Bull strategy is to pit a bit early. So we'll have to see if he comes in this lap as well to match what his teammates done, which I think could be the play.
Well, Kookaburra's obviously got medium hard, so not anyone's going to start for medium stop, but it's Troy who's in.
Yeah, and he goes in.
Champion seemed very uncertain of what to do. And
yeah.
Almost 42 but stay there.
Alex in the chat said they're both championship closed. Yeah, so Camper won Camper won the drivers last week, 2 weeks ago. And then the constructors got wrapped up last week as well. As Slick picks up a 3 seconds, which is not going to help his fight for the win at all. We'll see where Troy comes out as well. Got his teammate coming down the pit straight now. So where does he slot in? There he is on screen now. It's going to be very close actually between the two cars.
He's caught the back of Awkward, but obviously Awkward's ghosted because he never got back in the session.
Yeah,
so yeah. Whether or not he's going to be able to chase down. I mean, the problem is it's still another couple of punts. He's not going to quite get the worst of his team.
Yeah.
You imagine he's doing the rest of the top that they got.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's considering the undercut seems to be somewhat powerful here, as Chocolate then retakes the lead then. But just by nature, you'd imagine. Oh, he actually just driven off track there. Kookaburra, I think, picked up quite a warning that doesn't really need to go next to his name. But yeah, 1.4 the gap. Troy pulling an undercut on the cars around him. You imagine they fill that gap between the two Red Bulls, in which case I think he can join that fight. And he was 2.3 seconds or something adrift at the time of the stops when
Lucas Champion's in, but Chocolate's going on. So I assume. I mean, it's a bit strange on me. I assume potentially Chocolate's going for a medium stop.
Yeah. See if Mannix in as well. No. Comic choosing to stay, obviously, despite
Mannix already on the hard, so he'll be going.
Go longer.
And then longer, yeah.
And then there's still damage on Grimmick's car as well, obviously, which is unfortunate, but choosing just to slog it out and see if anything comes back his way towards the end of the race, it may be a safety car to allow him to at least get back with the rest of the drivers. Oh, and Slick's cut the pit lane there, isn't it?
I don't know if Lucas Champion did as well, but I mean, look at that. Kookaburra's in front of him.
Yeah, see,
the undercuts work well for Kookaburra, and it's Troy who's broken away, so we'll not even keep the advantage. But I mean, we've been here before where we watched Lucas Champion just put down this gap. So
yeah,
he's going to get the field places, he can get to this early. Grummick and Manic go fighting into the chicane. I think Grummick's just being held back from the damage and struggling to get the car turn there.
And on the medium, so he's going to be the next into the pits, you'd imagine, him and Chocolate. Obviously awkward, not in the session, so his ghost can do whatever he wants, really. But only 2 cars are yet to pit, which you'd imagine they'd be in the next lap or so. We're cut to Chocolate and see if he is finally into the pits. Oh, massive moment on the penultimate corner, but yeah, in he comes then, sliding all over the place. He's in the wall. Could not get the car. He had no control. He's lost part of his wing as well, so he needs to flick that. But
he's really just
that's him done. I'd imagine that's his race pretty much done at this point.
Oh, Troy's hit the back of Manic and gone round and into the wall as well. Manic pulled off towards the pits and he loses the race. Net lead, and whether or not he took damage doing so.
What is this? How has this race just suddenly gone into this? Yeah, and then Chesney's going to have a move on him round the outside into turn 1, or try to. Troy's catching the curb and catches the position.
There's no damage to his car, but he's going to be gutted. He's lost it on. There's Manic who was looking to come into the pits, and Troy's just gone into the back of him.
And he's lost the train, more importantly.
Manic being slow at the final corner.
Slick's obviously right here as well, so they might be able to work together and drag themselves up the order, but painful way to lose that front train if that is the case, and how the rest of the race unfolds. But we'll have to pay attention to see if these drivers can catch up and join that front pack. Pulled in the chat zone. What on earth was Chocolate do again? I don't understand if you can lose the car so much that you're sideways and he's off track. I feel like the head is very hot right now. But down in 11th. Yeah, you can imagine it where you will score a point, because obviously Awkward is ghosted, so we'll get automatically disqualified. But
him and Troy are falling at the same time over, 2 very avoidable limits.
Yeah. I'd be interested to look back at what happened with Troy. Yeah, the Chocolate one was a painful watch. Oh, and look at that move from Lucas Champion round the outside of a damaged Grummick into the penultimate corner there. Beautiful move from him. Obviously, Grummick yet to pit. I think he's just going long and praying that the safety car comes out to save him. But,
I think Grummick was purposely trying to not make it that awkward for him. Understanding that he's driving on with damage.
But out of nowhere then.
He could save Troy though, because Troy's going to get the DRS off of Grummick.
Yeah.
And if he can boost on and ahead of him, he could catch up to Christopher and Lucas Champion and be back in the fight for the win.
So still not over yet, and then that would drag Slick and Chesney with him. So out of nowhere, Chesney's got a race win on the cards.
Well, the problem is I've just got to Troy and he's down at 5% ERS, so he's not going to be able to get this done here. If anything, I think he gets back to get forward, then I think he's expecting Grummick around here.
Yeah, stuck slightly behind us. Whether he needs to get the move done here really if he wants. And Grummick obviously probably won't fight it too hard. Didn't get DRS himself, so yeah, that's probably saved him in that regard. So Troy should be able to. He's not going to make it easy though, just because he's got no ERS really to play with. But yeah, through he goes. Slick trying to get the move done on Grummick as well. I think he is going to be able to, just through the grip that he's got at his disposal. Chesney looking for the move.
Chesney the one, who's going to struggle to get it done. He's going to go for a bit of a dive, but he's going to back out of it. Yeah. I think he's going to realise that he's going to be the one who's going to get set line. Grummick is quicker, gets a 3-second penalty. That's going to cost him that fight.
Yeah, look at Chesney through sector 3. He's lost heaps of time.
He's gone for a dive as well, and he can't make it work. It's poor.
And at that point, I think you just need to stay behind and consolidate your loss. Like, you've just lost more time there by doing that, really. So, yeah, that's Chesney out of that fight then for what could potentially be the that precipice of the podium there. So, and then with Lucas Champion could have a nice win. He had back-to-back wins on his hands with Kookaburra getting the penalty, unless he might have got one coming into the pits. Obviously Abu Dhabi is known for picking up that stupid warning when you come into the pit, so potentially he might have picked up one up there and he might be able to get that removed. So still potentially a win on the cards for one of the Red Bulls. Well, both of them.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
I just had a look. He did not go one on the pit lap. Obviously he still could have had another one and that took him off along the way, but it's not one on the pit lap.
That's painful. But still trying to get involved with the scrap anyway. 25% of his ERS left, but now we'll have to see how this plays out. 1.4 the gap between the Red Bulls. So Troy just trying his best to see if he can close himself into the fight.
Well, obviously there was a teammate, so you don't... Oh, Troy gets a free second. As I was about to say, I wonder if Cooper is going to try and get in front of Lucas Champion going down to his teammate, thinking he's already got down, so he might as well try to get his teammate second, just like he gets a free second as well.
Yeah, and then Ali's in the pits, though. The hard runners finally start filtering into the pits. We see, obviously, I thought Ali was going to come to the wall, come into the pits, then come out of the pits, but yeah, we'll see what kind of pace Ali's got on these mediums to end the race, because he should be flying compared to, I mean, he should easily have Gremic. It just shows how painful Gremic's race has gone. Ali come out just behind him, will have him down the straight, and he hasn't pitted yet, so painful race for the Williams man. He was looking to try and get that advantage over Brothers today and move up to P2, but I don't think it's going to happen. Chocolate is still all the way back here as well, so just shows how bad of a mistake that was. Completely just compounded his whole race. Was on for the win, but now he's lucky to get some crumbs of points in this race. Only 8 laps to go, obviously, as well, with it being a shorter race distance, so Lucas Champion's sitting quite comfy, isn't he, really? When you look at who's fighting him for the win here, he's got 3 drivers all with penalties next to their name, so unless one of them feels they can take it to the steward to get it removed, it looks to be somewhat wrapped up for Lucas Champion, unless he's heavily
for the lead as well, throwing below rank, but Eject comes in, so.
But he was close on track to Ali as well.
Not get involved in anything.
Yeah. Should be nice to round out the season for a win for Lucas Champion. Obviously, I think I've mentioned it before, he's had a couple of painful losses in this season alone, where he's no real wrongdoing of his own, but lost a win right at the end of a race. I think it was on 2 separate occasions, so if he's able to round it out with 2 back-to-back wins, I think that'll do him a world of good, just to show what he actually can do. Obviously, went into last season and I did put him down as the championship favourite, and he didn't end up doing that. I think he had a bit of a difficult season, but shown today and last week what he can do when he's given the equipment to do so. Slick's lost a bit of time here as well through sector 1 going into 2, and it looks to be the Red Bulls fighting for, well, swooping around the outside to look for a double podium here, so good way to end the season if Red Bull can hold this out. Troy again with no ERS though, so compared to Slick, if it comes down to this, Slick's going to cook him just on DRS usage alone. So much more of his battery to play with. But yeah, if it does come down to a last lap gasp of energy deployment. Oh, Troy's nearly in the wall there as well. They come around sector 3.
Yeah, he's just really trying to get that car turned around sector 3 though, isn't he?
Honestly, now that the gap's opened up between these 2 front pairs, there's a potential for Kookaburra to nab a P2 still. Because, well, I mean, I know that people behind have got penalties as well, but more thinking about the medium runners pushing on. Likes of Ali, and he's right on the back of Chesney on fresh mediums. There's a potential he can at least go up to P5, so I think at that point Kookaburra's looking to not drop any further back than a 3rd or a 4th.
Yeah, I have a feeling as well, although Ali's got the advantage now, these mediums will end up dying towards the end of the race. There seems to just not be a good tyre here, and I think Kookaburra's made slight contact with the champion.
I guess it all depends in terms of the mediums, how viable they are on a slightly lesser fuel tank, obviously used in the second part of this race, so that might somewhat make it a bit more manageable, and just as a better race tyre in that second stint as opposed to the first, where the car's obviously a bit more heavier.
Okay, he just pitted again. I went to check. No, that's not a wing change, so it's just he decided to go back to the mediums.
A little too soft Strat, a bit unusual. Trent saying any safety car, no safety car, no.
There's been a couple of instances that easily could have called one. So
yeah, okay. Realistically, when OK lost his wing, that should have been a safety car. The fact that it wasn't was slightly unusual because he spun.
I think even lap 1 as well, wasn't it? When Gremit went in the wall, I think that's sort of the 2 moments you look at.
Yeah. Or Chocolate
still very close to the wall.
Yeah, yeah. Chocolate losing his wing coming into the pits like that could easily have deployed the safety car, or at least the VSC. As Gremic's finally in the pits after 14 laps in those mediums, so it will be soft then, I imagine, for Gremic. well with that
Yeah,
window
it
to
is.
check the softs on, so that would be fastest stuff I imagine going
He's
front
not
to
repaired
win.
the wing though.
Oh no.
Whether or not that's intentional because he didn't think he was
Surely
going to get the
not.
time back, but I feel like if I was him, you'd have just got the wing repaired and at least
Yeah.
made it less painful to sit there and have to drive around with for the next few laps.
Yeah. 5 laps just to round up the season. He's going to have to with half a front wing. Not ideal.
He's ended up with a solid point tally in the end after a bit of a slow start to the season purely through consistency, but I think he's the one man this season that you look at that you'd be very surprised he's not won a race this season.
Yeah.
It looked for a while that Lucas Champion was going to do similar, but I mean, he might now end up winning the final two to not end up, finishing without a race win. It goes up to a 6-second penalty.
He's really pushing hard though to get with his front two, and he's going to reconnect them, but obviously getting a 3-second in amongst that. Yeah, I mean, in a way it's going to help Troy out a bit more just to close that gap up, but yeah, in terms of Slick's own race, not ideal. Ali now within 3 seconds, just about to cut that down even more. So I don't know, he's 4 laps left. Ali is pushing on very well. He's completely dropped Chesney since passing him 2 laps ago. He's already 2.4 up the road. So I don't know. It all depends on what these mediums are looking like as we rapidly approach the end of this race and season. So keep an eye on Ali to see what he can do. I think he might be. That's a man that's he's somewhat gone under the radar as well when you look at his previous results. Ali has been. I thought we could get it up and have a look. Yeah, I mean, Ali, he didn't score in Zandvoort. Then he had a 2nd place, a 3rd place. He had 8 points last week, and he's on for a very good result again today. Potentially, yeah, he's looking like he could snag a podium. He's had 2 more tenths off the back of Troy there. Okay, sets the fastest lap on those new mediums. But yeah, I think Ali could have a podium in it.
Well, if there is another season for him to go and fight for, I mean, he's got the level of consistency that puts him right into a title fight if he can keep it up across the course of the season.
Yeah.
It's like you said again, he's going to probably finish today with a podium, assuming he can keep this gap sit down, these mediums don't die, and then
That puts him right up there, yeah, exactly. It's a situation similar to Gremic. If you're banging out top, not even top 5s, but you're somewhere there. It's a manic having a bit at the moment. Passed by, I think that's just him getting passed by Gremic. And then at the same time, Chocolate getting past Jatin as well. But yeah, 2.1 that gap. Alex, and why is it? Oh, but yeah, it's 35% just because of attendance. There was like 8 full-time declines today. We managed to claw it back in the last 10 minutes or so before the race actually started to make it 13. But it was at one point, I think in terms of full-time drivers, we've only got 9 here today. And I think I said if it wasn't above 10, that we would potentially even thinking about cancelling the race. But makes sense more just to allow the drivers that turned up to race to some degree. But with it being shorter in terms of full-time, no real point in it being a full 50% to round up things out. Oh, Cookburn, I thought Cookburn and Lucas Champion were going to come together at the front.
Troy's just about got back in DRS there, but it's almost a second. He's using too much ERS really, because he's down at, I mean, literally 2-3%, so it's just going to be costing him time.
Yeah, it just has
to switch it off of overtake, then the whole of the really. That point is essentially the lifetime on them, isn't it?
Yeah, it's painful because we've seen Troy do this in the past. I mean, I can't remember what race it was.
It was the wet race, wasn't it? I want to say it was Mexico.
Yeah.
Is it when he was trying to get past? I want to say it was Nano as well. But I'm
yeah. And it was like one of these situations where you were just waiting for him to just have a little bit of an ERS deployment to be able to get it back. But this whole race, realistically, I don't think I've seen him above 20%. It's been painful because he's had no usage to really attack the cars ahead. So he's been really fighting one-handed in this fight. So to be where he is it's testament to just his pure pace in today's race.
And he seems to really be struggling to his hairpin as well onto the first DRS straight. He just seems to be sliding around there. He did it last lap for some people. And he's done it again, which is not ideal because those in front are all in DRS for each other.
Yeah. Worth bearing in mind, obviously, yeah, Lucas Champion still without a pen, Slick with 6 seconds, and then both the Red Bulls with 3 seconds. So, in terms of how that can impact the win, realistically, yeah, Lucas Champion looking very good into these last 2 laps. Any people running low on fuel? No one. We've got a move actually back there between Throne Globe and Chesney Throne Globe, obviously on those newer mediums. So he's trying to fly back through the order, putting a decent shift today, looking good for a P6 today. Ali 3 seconds up the road, so I imagine that's P6 will be more secure for him now. I don't think he's really moving upwards from there. As okay, gets another 3 seconds as well.
Yeah, Chocolate's also is looking right on the back of Chesney, looking for a move. Both of them racing on their birthday as well. It's what we call commitment.
But yeah, thank you for turning up, lads. But Troy's now fully with them as well, 4 tenths off the back of his teammate. So it will be, well, it looks to be a 4-car battle for the win on track at least. So we'll see if anyone does choose to do anything bold and brash.
Chesney's had a moment. He's supposed to have a whole heap of time and lost the
DRS
in foreign goals and Chocolate. So.
You'd imagine that's him doing a jet in 90 seconds back, so you'd imagine that is 8th now at best for Chesney, unless he has anything dramatic happen to him or anyone else up ahead of him on these final 2 laps.
Ali's really beginning to drop back as well from this train. I feel like it's what I said could happen in the end, where he didn't quite get up to the DRS and needed to completely die. His front 2 were fighting.
Side by side all the way around that corner, beautiful. But Slick losing out eventually, but he's staying behind. He's in the optimal position really to start the final lap. Got a bit less ERS to play with compared to Lucas Champion up ahead, but ultimately Lucas Champion is in the best position considering he has no penalties. So even if he does get overtaken, you'd imagine he's fine in terms of taking this back-to-back win home as well to round out the season. So here we go, then starting in the final lap here at Abu Dhabi. It's Lucas Champion P1, Slick P2, and then it's the Red Bulls of Kookaburra and Troy P3 and 4 in this fight for the win. All within DRS then coming into the final lap. Kookaburra with plenty of his battery still left as well, 76% compared to his teammate down on like 11. So he's had a bit of a slide though through the hairpin.
Lucas Champion's got quite a gap out there. It's almost 8 tenths, so obviously though he's going to have to defend back-to-back DRS sections, but this could be possible here if he gets a good exit from the chicane.
Yeah, he went to hot lap and I think he was just able to pull up a nice little cushion. And he's still got the ERS advantage over Lucas Champion here. I feel like Slick, if anything, is more under threat from behind. Troy's been fully dropped here just because he's got no real battery to fight with. Kookaburra, does he send it? He's going to try and go round the outside here at the back corner. Just cannot carry the momentum round, so I think it's going to stay as it is. Lucas Champion doing well again to hold out. Does Kookaburra have a little look here going into sector 3? I mean, he's close enough. No, it doesn't go for it on this occasion. But Lucas Champion did this last week as well. He defended, he chose to be the lead car going into the final lap up against Bradders, and he held off. And he's going to do the same here then, come around the final corner without a penalty. Only man in the top 4 to do that. And he's going to cross the line then to win the season finale. Lucas Champion wins in Abu Dhabi. Kookaburra ends up P2 to make it a Red Bull 2 and 3 double podium as Troy rounds out the podium, reserving for the 2nd time this season, I believe. Ali will get P4 on those medium tyres. Obviously like 2 positions up from the start place. Kookaburra's up 11th place. Obviously serving as quali ban, put it all the way up to P2. Slick with a good race as well. Unfortunate though with those penalties dropping him down to P5. Chocolate P6, what could have been for him? Obviously with Troy thinks his pen can come off as well, so that'd be interesting.
The only thing to be said though for Troy though is obviously what happened between him and Manson, if that gets supported.
Yeah, that's true. Chocolate, P6, what could have been for him, I suppose, if he didn't have a little stinker coming into the pits. Throwing good performance there, P7 up 3 positions, Chesney P8, Jatin Jatin just behind him as well, and then we'll have a look at the rest of the order after the podium. Oh, Chesney's saying apparently he would have been potentially on the podium if it wasn't, oh yeah, it was because of Gremic that we watched, yeah. It's unfortunate. But at the same time, it was your own fault for doing the dive in the final corner. But, do you know what, a close fought way to end the season out, so nice way to end season 9. Nearly 2 years of racing here, so nice to end out a season as well with a good scrap. Obviously, continued what has been a good season here. Sticks in, that was good fun. Yeah, it was a good watch as well. In terms of wins in Tier 2, let me have a look and see where that puts Lucas champion in terms of, I think that would have been his 3rd or 4th win. I'll have a quick see. Where is he on the leaderboards? Yeah, that would have been his 3rd win, so that moves him above Bradders, Gremic, Kizza, Kurvold, Driller, and that puts him level with the likes of Chocolata and Troy. So good job from Lucas champion to get a good performance under his belt. A couple of pens flying through the order, but yeah, to complete where we left off, yeah, Chesney P8, Jatin P9, Slick as well, worth mentioning that he might get done for a pit lane cut as well to further drop him down the order, which will be 3-second penalty, which will move him down all the way to P7 unfortunately. But yeah, and then obviously it will only be 12 classified finishers. As Awkward will get disqualified for, well, unfortunately never got back in, so that was his AI the whole time, so will not be classified in the final results. But that is that then. Tier 2 all wrapped up then for Season 9. All attention now turns to Tier 1, where we've got a championship fire in our hands. 3 drivers still in the mix and separated by 6 points, so anyone's willing to get in the mix there. All depends down to qualifying and how things play out in the early stages of the race as we go towards the pit stops. But yeah, if you're interested in watching how that unfolds, stick around. I think that's on in an hour or so. Alex should be looking after you there. But yeah, if you're just interested in Tier 2 or just the league overall, if you don't want to watch Tier 1 later, we will potentially see you next season. And if not, goodbye.